Hey everyone, as you know, we are administering the EOCs this week and next week. There are some people who are tested on Chromebooks. The testing for the labs have really not changed. Some of these tips will help you in the lab as well, but I ran into some issues while testing with Chromebooks, and Ms. Cherie and I thought that it would be a good idea to share what those issues were with you. There are some things that you need to check before students come into your classroom. Obviously, battery levels, but one of those things is keyboard settings. Another one is screen brightness. And you need to make sure that the correct testing app is there. We did run into a couple of Chromebooks that had a testing app, but it was not the correct testing app. All right, in order to check the battery levels or the keyboard, you click the settings down in the corner, make sure it's on US keyboard. No other keyboard will work correctly in the testing software. Obviously, I'm signed in. Students will not be able to find the app unless they sign out. So you'll see me sign out here. They have to go in to the computer. It's not going to be logged into anyone specifically. Okay, that is of utmost importance. Another thing you want to do is to check the battery. Go down to the bottom right corner, click on the battery icon, and it should be right there in the bottom right of the box. It'll tell you how much percent is left and how many minutes is left on that Chromebook. 50% will normally last them a whole class period and more. So I would say maybe charge it up as much as possible. If you charge them overnight, then you're going to be fine. Now, there are two things that you need to know, and I've got a picture of the actual Chromebook keyboard that we use. We use most of our new Chromebooks are the Lenovo N22 Chromebooks. Here is a picture of the actual keyboard. You need to check the screen brightness. I have run into this issue with students not only during testing but during classwork, where they'll turn the brightness down so far that I cannot see their screens unless I get right up close to it, and by that time they normally change whatever they're doing that they're not supposed to be doing. So I always make my kids turn the brightness up when they tell you that their screen is dim, or that this is just how their computer is. That's not true. I've put the two buttons that they need to press. They both look like little suns, okay? This is important for us monitoring students, especially during this test. What I'm going to do now is show you the difference between the MAP app and the DRC Insight app. I'm going to show you how to get into it and how to find it. What you do is you look down in the bottom left corner, there's a little, or it'll say apps, and you click it, and the only thing that should be there for our Chromebooks is the DRC Insight app. If it's not that app, it's going to be the MAP testing app. The MAP test, we don't give that here, and I don't know why it's on some but not on others. I only found it on one of my Chromebooks that was being used. So maybe it's just a fluke, but just in case, we want to make sure that you know they have to get another Chromebook in order to take the test. Another keyboard feature that they cannot use is they cannot tab to indent. I just told my kids, I said, just click enter, and leave a space between your paragraphs, because the tab key does not work in this testing software. That won't be an issue for, many of the other tests. I know that's mostly an English test thing, but, that is something that many of them ask questions about. There are a couple of other issues that I found. One of them is that the MAP testing app is on a couple of these Chromebooks instead of the DRC Insight app. Now, I did have two students who, when they opened the DRC Insight app, they got a screen saying that there was a plug-in issue. If you just click OK, and then it'll exit them out, and if they go back down to apps in that left-hand corner and click DRC Insight, it comes up with no problems. I don't know why you have to click OK on some of them, but once we did it on the first day, they didn't have to do it again. So I think it might just be a settings issue. There are a couple of keyboard shortcuts for students. You should be getting some handouts from Miss Cherie Hooks. Just in case you wanted to teach them beforehand, here they are. Please understand that there are some things that we found while testing. Students cannot copy any information from the passages provided by the test. Okay, so they can't go to the passage and select something and copy and paste it in. They actually have to retype it, like if they're going to cite it or something. They can only copy, cut, and paste what they have actually typed. It's helpful for kids who don't read the directions well and realize they've typed the wrong thing in the wrong spot. Other than that, there's really no use for it. One thing that I found is that my seating really mattered. I actually have students up against some cabinets in my room, and I specifically did not sit students against that cabinet because many of them want to put their back to the cabinet instead of their back in the back of the seat. Therefore, they turn their computers, and I can't see their computer screens. I always make sure that I pull them off the wall, and I tell them they can't sit on the wall. I make sure that I can get behind them. In my room, my desks are kind of laid out so that I can either teach from in front, or I can teach from the side, or I can teach from behind. And yes, my room is crowded because of that, but it really enables me to monitor my students. Another thing is I have my shortcuts posted at the front and back of the room so that no matter which way I turn their desks, they will be able to see those shortcuts. Now, if you have any more questions for Chromebooks, since I've worked with them every day for about a year now, then I may be able to answer it. I'm not the be-all, end-all person, but I definitely know where to look for some answers, and I've got some resources and some people I can ask. So if you have any further questions, please let me know, okay? I'll be more than glad to do another one of these short tutorials over it, or come down and help you personally. Thank you.